Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from boxing. So you know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now this is just a little small news that might go under the radar. It's not really significant to many people, but it sticks in my eye, and I'll tell you why in a minute. The news is Andre Ward, light heavyweight champion of the world, just got through that match with Sergey Kovalev, which was close to a draw, but a very close match. Moved up in weight. Andre Ward, one of the top pound for pound fighters in the world, is going to go to England to call the fight from Chris Eubank Jr. versus Renald Quinlan, right, for the IBO super middleweight title. Now the IBO, you know how I feel about that. That's not, for me, a relevant title yet. They're on their way. You know, it's not, that sanctioned body is too new for me to acknowledge. But that makes it at least a significant fight, right? But for me, Andre Ward going to England, even though he's just going to be this ITV's box office, they're trying a new thing over there, he's going to be the analyst for the fight. But I just like the fact that he's going to go to England, all right? Experience some of the love a fighter could get for being a fighter and being a good fighter, right? They're very knowledgeable fans. They know that this is the guy that one of their greats, Carl Froch, just couldn't get past, and acknowledged that fairly. As a man, you know, this Ward guy is just a little bit too much, right? Those fans will acknowledge that. He's going to be there as an analyst, and I'm telling you guys, when he gets back, let's just watch what his dialogue would be like once he gets back from England, because he's going to experience things that he doesn't experience here in America, which would be love. Love for what he does, respect, you know, from the masses, right? It's always what he's not going to do and what he hasn't done, and this, you know, being inactive or whatever the reasons could be, you know, boring, those kind of things. But at the end of the day, the guy hasn't lost since he's 12 years old, and I think going to England is going to make him realize that. And being an analyst, the man can really talk. He has no problem with that. I think that England will also like him to be there and being an analyst there. You see with Pauline Malignaggi, right? There are certain networks that have certain narratives. And if you're going to be an unbiased commentator or analyst, you might not fit in with their program. And I've noticed that Paulie Malignaggi has found a home in England. When you're talking about Sky Sports or Box Nation, they want him to analyze these fights. Similar can happen to Andre Ward. And I just think, you know, for him to be as great as he really is, you know, we should probably enjoy that. We tend not to. And it just would be good for him to go over there and get that vibe from there and that appreciation that I think the man deserves. Forget what I think. The man deserves, period. If we're going to like boxing, we have to acknowledge the ones that are the best at it. And we seem to not get that done. So there in England, when he's over there, those people are going to treat him a little bit different. He's going to see things like, man, I can come over here, maybe fight George Groves and fill up half of Wembley or something, you know? Or after George Groves and DeGale fight, maybe I can catch weight one of those in England, because people would be apt to want to see him fight because of who he is and what he has already accomplished. They remember the 66 Super 6 tournament. And, you know, we can't seem to talk about it because it was 2011, 2012. But at the end of the day, the best were fighting the best. And he came through that and still hasn't lost since then. So those things are significant. And it's just good to see him go somewhere like that and get this love. Let's see what he's talking about when he gets back to America. I would be very interested. The fight is on February the 4th. Let's start seeing interviews around the 6th and 7th, and we'll talk again. Doma Sports Talk, worldwide, and I'm up out of here.